this morning. Besides that, we've also had a little earlier brought you that story about Anglo-Gola Shanti Sipho Pityana Save South Africa campaign, where the People's Assembly, which Diabo just alluded to, was also involved with. Now, Patricia Visagie, our reporter, has been right on the scene the entire day, and we'd like to see from her. Patricia, can you please give us an update on the goings-on there at the People's Assembly?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much. Of course, it's been a very long day, but of course we saw the People's Assembly against state capture, coming full circle here at the St. Albans Church here in the Pretoria CBD, and we've seen a lot of leaders from all spheres of course, our society, from the political arena, business, civil society, religious organizations, student formations, and of course the ordinary men and women who came here uniting against what they have termed the continuous looting of course state resources and state capture, and that of course a powerful message here at the end that was delivered by the keynote speaker, and that is Mr. Sipho Pityana. But to take us more through what happened and whether the organizers of the so-called Save South Africa event that took place here in the capital city, whether they're happy with the turnout of events. So let's speak to Lawson Naidu. He's one of the organizers. He's also from Kazakh. Can you tell us whether you are fulfilled? Are you happy with the turnout of events here?
Well, I think today's event sent a very, very strong message to South Africa, that this is a very broad gathering of South Africans that we saw here today. Many different faiths were here, leaders of many different political parties, stalwarts of the liberation movement were here, and it was a broad spectrum of South African society saying that we will not stand for state capture, we will not stand for looting any longer, and we want to do something as ordinary citizens. We want to reclaim our country back for us. We had a packed cathedral here in the center of Pretoria today, and we are very happy that so many hundreds of South Africans came out to show their support. Many business leaders were here, spent half the day here today with the Save South Africa campaign, and I think this is the start of a journey towards restoring the constitutional democracy that so many fought so hard for.
Would you say this is yet another tipping point in the South African political arena? But not just that, it is also about the social dynamics that are playing out right now.
Absolutely. I think this is a very, very important day in the democratic era in South Africa. This is the first time in the democratic era that we've had such a broad representative gathering of civil society and political parties. And we haven't seen something like this since the 1980s. And I think that sends a strong signal how far we have fallen back in our quest to create a non-racial and democratic and prosperous South Africa. And people are saying we want our constitutional values back.
And I think what was very interesting is the fact that even leaders from the ruling party, from the ANC, joined this gathering here. Another powerful speech came from the ANC chairperson in Gauteng, Paul Mashatile, who also sent a strong message to, one can say, some of his own comrades.
Yeah. People who are seeking justice and the truth are in the majority in our country, and I think that was clearly evident here today. There's a small minority that are misleading the country, looting our resources and selling our country to their closest friends, and we're saying we will not stand for that. And there are people within the ruling party who are beginning to stand up and say that, and we welcome them to be part of the Save South Africa campaign.
And moving forward, all the strong messages that came out of here, and of course the great support that we saw in the turnout here at this church. But what's the next step? What are we going to see moving forward? Or was this perhaps maybe just another event of lip service?
Absolutely not. We will find us out on the streets in towns and communities across the country. The message that was sent out here today, we need to go and engage with that, with ordinary people, and mobilize more and more people to stand up and say we will not tolerate this kind of leadership in our country. We want more and we deserve more.
Thank you so much. Of course, there we have Mr. Lawson Naidu, who's part of the organizers who brought this event to the capital city today. But another leader who, captured, rather, if we may use that word, the minds of the people who gathered here is General Bantu Holomisa from the UDM, the leader of the UDM. So another strong message that you delivered today.
No, thank you very much. I don't regret for having been captured by Save SA. As you can see, I'm wearing their T-shirt. But it was a good initiative by them, I must say. But I concentrated more on giving the way forward, so as to avoid to attend one of those talk shops without action. For instance, I'm saying there is a need to relook at our systems, starting from 1994, because there seems to be some deficiencies which needs to be fixed, such as the electoral reforms or electoral systems, where the people can be given an opportunity to elect their own president directly, rather than relying on a political party.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Holomisa. We have run out of time. There you have it. Of course, this event has come to a close. You've heard from the organizers. They are happy, they are satisfied, and they're saying that this marks the tipping point of greater action to come to, of course, make sure that South Africa is saved from what they have termed the continuous looting and state capture that compromises the country's constitution and serves as a great threat to the country's hard-earned democracy. For now, it is back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Patricia Visagie, for that report right there. We'll be back with more news after this short break. Stay close.